How you doing, everybody? It's Phil from NYRocks, and we're over here speaking with a lady that worked with Kiss from back in the beginning. Her name is Carol Ross, and pleasure meeting you.
Thank you. It's nice to be here and meet with you.
Yeah.
This has been very exciting.
It's very cool.
And what amazes me is we're talking about 4 generations here.
Right.
And who would have thought when this band was starting out with their little ripped costumes on that it would come to this. I mean, we thought we'd have maybe 5 years.
Right. And it just kept on going and re-evolving and re-evolving and re-evolving. They're just great.
It's a phenomenon that is so rare in the music business. And the fact that you see little babies with Kiss makeup on, you know, no one would have thought that far ahead. We would have been happy with the short-term thing, but they were so determined, and they came. I think it was at the right time. You know, there was nothing like them.
There was nothing stopping them.
No.
They were going to do it.
No.
Now tell everybody who you were to them in the beginning, because they need to know, the people out there, the history of you and how you got involved with the band and how you met them. And go ahead.
Well, I was friends with Bill Aucoin. And Bill had called me. At that time, I was director of publicity for MCA Records. And Bill had called me to come and see the band down in New York, and he wanted to know what I thought. And
now this is past Wicked Lester. Now they actually were Kiss.
They were now going to be formally Kiss. So I was totally blown away. And he said, boy, we'd love you to work with the band. And I said I couldn't at that time because I had another job. But I would stay in touch, offer some suggestions when I could. About a year and a half later, I got an offer with an international public relations agency called Rogers Cowan to become director of their music division
in New York City.
New York City. I called Bill and I said, Bill, guess what? I'm going to take Kiss into this company as my first client. We were all excited, and so that was the start of my being able to work with the band formally. And so it was a very, very exciting time because they were hungry, they were focused, they were determined, and Bill was a master, and his vision is incredible. And that's when everything started, the conversations, trying to get the record deal, getting things going, how to create excitement for them, because nobody believed that this band was ever going to do anything. They would laugh at me when I'd call press people on the phone.
And they actually struggled for a while until Alive, right? They weren't making the big money, but they were out there and they stuck with it, right? That's the main thing.
The most important thing to know is that they were hungry. They didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. Bill Aucoin was using his American Express card.
I know a lot about
And then when they got Neil Bogart on board at Casablanca Records, nobody wanted the band. He mortgaged his house to build the money to create a great promotional
And Bill maxed out the credit card.
Maxed out the credit cards.
At the Hotel Diplomat.
Yes, several times.
The broken floor.
Yes. And I
wasn't even there and I know about it. That's amazing, because I'm a little younger, you know what I mean?
We were trying to get the costumes made because they were ripping at the seams. And we were trying to get up money to get somebody to make some decent costumes. You know.
It's great when you have a vision and you know what I mean? And you're like, oh man, only if people knew what I could do here. If they just believed in me and just give me.
But most important is they believed in themselves. And you have to have that against all odds.
Gene and Paul, man, they made the magic happen. And then when Ace walked in with the different colored sneakers, they were like,
Ace was
good.
They were amazing.
And Peter, they answered the ads. They answered the ads.
The meshed. And
they had the same passion.
It was amazing. And I can remember Ace. He'd go to me, hey, Curly, because he'd go over and rub my head. But and then Gene was being so big, these guys, they just lift me up and put me around. And every time I would plan something for them. But they were hungry. They were focused, they were determined and dedicated. That's what it's all about.
The timing, everything was coinciding, everything was, you know, and then you had you had all those things that you did, all those publicity stunts that you talked about before on stage, the Michigan thing, and all these little photo opportunities with the blood and the magazine.
Right. The most important thing in the philosophy of this is in public relations is if you can't get them in the front door, you come in the back door. And so if we couldn't get the press to formally up front talk to them, I figured we could do it by creating events that they could not dismiss.
Wow.
And that's what we did.
All right, so what's your relationship now? You any relationship with the band still? And talk about that, guys.
Yes, I was with. I've stayed in touch over the years.
Right.
And I was with Paul and Jean just 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And
at the signing, the book signing.
Yes, at the book signing.
What, New York?
And we spent the whole day together.
Right.
And it's wonderful. We reliving that. And it's like you never. You can be separated for a while, but the coming back together is like it never happens.
I love them. They're like family to me. I feel like Gene is like my uncle, but the good uncle. You know what I mean? And Paul, like they talk and they advise you when they, you know what I mean. They don't have to do that, but they tell you, please, guys, you could do this. You know what I mean? You got to believe in yourself, and they really like mentors. They're so great. Doing that,
and what has kept them alive for over 4 generations, and the interest there is their connection with the people, the connection with their fans, and they know, and the most important thing is they remember when. As many artists don't remember when.
I remember them for so long a time. I followed them everywhere. I was at Eric Carr's first show at the Palladium. I seen him in '77, you know, and I flew everywhere to follow them, and I wanted to be them. I said, these guys, I would love to just have their life and be them. And I was like, you know what? But just being a fan of theirs and being around them and just all the different events and things that they did, being a part of that history, what they call it history, is amazing, and I've experienced that, so I'm very glad for that.
The whole idea of having them all this time, 4 generations, and it continues.
Cool. All right, so what are you doing with yourself now? Are you working? Are you still working?
Yes, I manage Tommy James and the Shondells.
Oh yeah, I love him.
And his autobiography,
Legend,
his autobiography, Me, the Mob, and the Music, is now going to become a film. We're in development for a film now.
Wow. And you still live in New York?
I live in Montclair, New Jersey now.
Montclair, New Jersey. It's close. Very lovely area.
Yes,
I've been there.
Yeah. So I'm very busy with that and continue to do. I love what I do.
Very youthful too.
Thank you.
Very youthful. You got the shirt on. Look at that. Yeah. That's the first shirt with the first makeup design. Yes, I remember this well. Yeah, but remember that I was just a mere child myself. So you still are young. You're young at heart.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Look at me. You know, I'm getting up there, but you know what I mean. I still feel like I still feel like a kid.
Rock and roll keeps you young.
Yeah.
That's it.
And now I'm growing a hair, so it's like, hey, rock and roll. I still got the hair.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah.
I want to thank you very much. But tell everybody how they can find out if they want to find out and follow you. You're on Facebook, or they can find out what's going on with you.
And my email address is crd9138@aol.com.
Right.
I love to hear from people.
Carol
Ross, ROSS.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much for making Kiss happen. This lady made it happen. Thank you, man.
Love it.
Cool. All right, you're watching New York Rocks. We're going to speak to some other people that are down here. I'm glad I came, man, to meet you. It's amazing. We're going to hear your story. Thank you.